This is day 2. I don't think I'm gonna do one of these every single day, but I should. I should for now. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, but right now I am. This is beautiful, isn't it? This is my last soda. I'm gonna drink this soda, then never drink soda again. It's melting. Jesus Christ. What Dairy Queen does well is making something so sugary and candy-like that it's just not the real deal, but it tastes good. It's just like a sugar sculpture of ice cream, Damn. $1. $1 with a coupon. I didn't even know they had cherry. I didn't even know there's any such thing. Anyway. Oh, it's a cool day, being at the state that I am in life, I wake up every morning depressed. And it's to the point that I think that it's at least semi-unavoidable, because I can't do anything mentally to control the feeling I'm going to have in my heart and in my head as I wake up. I can do that while I'm conscious, but obviously I can't do that while I'm unconscious, obviously. And so was that sexy? Want more on my face? Daddy. There's just very little I can do to what is Your Love by The Outfield? That was 843 million.
All right, time to do my.
I never want to see another ad again. A minute. I stopped watching YouTube videos and stuff yesterday. And I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. Suddenly, every single ad in the world became sickening to me. That song, I don't want to lose your love. That's a great song. I gotta learn that one. What a great song. I also listened to Toto, Hold the Line today. That was on the radio when I was at the temp agency, the temp service. Anyway, so it was just like I wanted to wake up early because I have a lot of shit to deal with, and my best bet, I have to deal with it. It's pressing. My best bet was just to wake up early and start getting at it, like starting at 8 at the latest. I stayed up too late. I wasn't like watching internet videos and shit. I was reading, but I think a lot of that was that there's this thing where whenever stress is imposing on you. The reason I'm not saying whenever you're stressed, because I don't think you have to be stressed. I think stress tries to impose on your thoughts and tries to manifest within your thoughts. And that's what it means to be stressed, is to be thinking stressful thoughts. But that's what pressures from the outside do. Pressures from the outside. And so real world pressures, real world problems, real world worries. I'm not saying those things are fake. They're obviously like bad or unfortunate things that can happen. But to me, the way I see it, real world problems in the form of stress try to govern your thoughts, try to alter them, try to form them into stressful thoughts. And so that's what was happening to me this morning. Stress was imposing itself on me, and that was last night. That was what I was going to say. Whenever I close my eyes, the reason it's hard, just force yourself to close your eyes and go to sleep. It's because there's something about the nighttime, something about, and not even just it's not just a tired mind. It is the mind awake at night. Like, we're not supposed to be awake at night. That's not what humans are for. It is the mind awake at night. It doesn't think right. It's like whenever I was working night shift at Amazon, it just makes you weird. It makes you weird when you do that for a while. There's something wrong with it. There's something wrong about being awake at night and asleep during the day. You're fucking a thing, your whole form, not just your body and your brain and your spirit and soul are not made for that. So I finally just, forced myself to close my eyes and go to sleep. And some stressful thoughts came, but it was fine. It wasn't until like 2:30 at that point or something, so I wanted to make sure I got 5 hours of sleep. I set my alarm for 7:30 and got woken up because my car was parked behind my mom's car, yada yada. Set my alarm a little later. Now I'm going to try to get up at like 7:45, right? Alarm goes off and I just shut it off. I think I can get some more sleep and go back to sleep. And then I wake up at 9:30 and I should have just gotten up and I didn't. And at that point it's because stress is imposing on me. I'm thinking about the stuff that I have to do today and thinking, what if things don't go my way? I've got so much, stupid shit pressing on me. And as I've been doing for months now, I hit that procrastination spirit again and just went back to sleep. And I did that till I woke up at 11:30, and then it was like screaming stress in my brain, and I was just thinking like, maybe I just deal with this shit tomorrow, like literally thinking that. Like the same exact fucking shit that this diary is supposed to represent me not doing anymore. The whole point of this diary is that I'm not doing the old shit, the old fucking crap that has fucked my life up. And that was the same garbage that was pressing in on my head. This looks bloody. Just bleeding all over this ice cream. And so what I did is I said, you know what's been working? Just letting myself, with my fucking brain, diminish the stress. And it was like, no, but I missed my chance. Like, I was supposed to do all this today, starting this morning. Now it's it's too, and it was it doesn't matter. Like the past already, even if the past was 3 hours ago, it already doesn't matter. The future doesn't matter. The stress, the paranoia about the present matters. What do you have to do right now? What would be the right choices to make right now? I laid in bed for a little longer. I laid in bed from 11:30 to 12. And then I ultimately was like, you've got to get up. If you just keep laying here, you're not going to be able to get anywhere. And that was what it was. It was I got where I needed to be in my thoughts, but still wasn't able to peel myself out of bed. And it was you peel yourself out of fucking bed. And then immediately I'm going to the bathroom, using some mouthwash and all that, let the dog out. And that's why I'm still dressed. I didn't put pajamas on, I just fixed my hair and it was all right, time to go. And that was what I did. I got going and I called all the people I needed to call about things, and I had to go to the court to check in on something, and I did that, and it was like 3 or 4 hours later, I had everything done. Every single thing I needed to do was done, and like things are like looking good, like way better than they were yesterday. You know, way better than they were 2 days ago for sure. And it just what it was every time I would get done with something or get home for a second and then have to do this next thing and that next thing, and this has been me all day today, because I'm not playing video games or watching YouTube or anything. There's nothing I can do but either be in the fucking thoughts about what I need to do or doing those things. And when I'm in the thoughts about what I need to do, the stress that imposes on me and tries to be stress, pressures that try to become stress, you know, just the fucking problems in my life, they start to assault me, and they would become actual stress if I didn't go ahead and act on those things. Instead I go, well, I know what I have to do. I know what I've fucked up already. I know how fucked up things are in myriad ways. Can't do anything about that. And that's not really the attitude. It's more like, this is the present and that's the past. You objectively, literally, you can't. Like, it's not, like, it's inaccessible, which is just the way it is. This is the present. The way I often think about, and so anyway, so I just, now whenever I let myself think about that, I don't get stressed, and I just do the things. And today, that was what it was, and it was very productive. And oddly enough, I got a call today from my mom, and they're looking for a super entry-level data entry position at their work. And it's fairly, I'm not getting my hopes up, but it's fairly likely it's going to come through. And it was just very strange, it's just, I've had this happen before, where you start to get yourself moving in the right direction, and things start just happening. Things just start coming to you. Do I not look like a guy doing data entry in an office right now? And the reason I'm able to do that, because I know a lot of people struggle with that. Like, I think most people, they kind of just go to work and get into the rut. And not most people. I don't know if most people are not. But I know I was one of those people who, like, anything outside of the sphere of what I was already directly responsible for, just to, like, keep life, like, moving. Like, all I'd really do before, like, consistently, was fucking go to my job and pay my rent. Okay? And anything outside of that gave me immense stress. It was like, it must be anxiety, right? It must be, like, basically an anxiety disorder or something. And I would always manage to think of, like, all the things that, it's exactly how people describe anxiety. Thinking of every single thing that could go wrong and becoming completely engulfed in those things until I can't even bring myself to do any work at all. And I just play video games. Right, it's exactly how people describe anxiety. So I didn't get anywhere. I just remained like an average employee and just didn't make it anywhere. And what was even funny about that is that there are these times where I would be living right, but it wouldn't just be in one way. It wouldn't just be like, now I'm doing better at work or spending less money. It'd be all the things at once. Suddenly I'd just start moving in the right direction. You know, I was going on runs like 3 or 4 times a week, and showing up to work early, which was really nice. Like, just sitting in the break room and, like, waiting for my shift to start, and always had, like, food packed for the night and like tons of water and like Monster. Like every single night I bring in this fucking like a plastic Walmart bag. I think I'd have like 2 Monsters, 3 water bottles, a lunch, and then like some oysters for a snack because I was a 12-hour shift. And it was just like whenever you start doing like even then I was playing the music better and people were noticing. And before I was like this fucking weirdo outsider making weird songs, not playing or singing very well. And now I was like impressive to like the best guys there and stuff. And there's been these phases in my life where I'm living right, but I've never retained it. And I think the reason is because no matter what, the motives behind it, like they were never just, I was never just motivated by the continuous need to fulfill my responsibilities in the present. And that's not like that's not, as they say, how do people use the word sexy? That's the word I would use here. It's not a very sexy way of thinking about life. It's not dismal either. It's not like, well, things could be so horrible, I gotta go. It's just very inert. It's very gray, okay? Very monochrome sort of way of approaching life. And I hope, and I'm not certain, because if I were to be certain that this new mindset is going to work out and sustain, and I'm going to just start living life properly for the first time at 28 years old. I mean, that's a bit of a fucking stretch, and it sounds a bit ridiculous. But if I keep myself in check, keep myself from getting too prideful and too comfortable, then I will. And what's funny about that is that tonight, once I knew that job was probably going to come through for me, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to sit down and play video games and watch YouTube. Like, I guess everything's fine now. And that's what you can't do. You can't rest on your laurels. And so anyway, I've been one of those people who, except for short phases in my life, I don't do anything. Everything that you need to do has been an anxiety-inducing situation for me. And the reason that I'm now able to do that, the way that I think about it is like this. So, I could get very lost in, my fears and my regrets, right? Fears about the future and my regrets about the past. I could get very hung up on those things, and I could get very absorbed in how much worse life is now than it has been, and how bad it is compared to what it could have been if I had made the right decisions, not done stupid fucking shit, worked harder, etc. Right? And I think a lot of people are going through that. I think most people go through that. And I think a lot of people end up in this state where, unless they fucking kill themselves, they end up so beaten down by the notion of what could have been and, losing your youthful purpose and all this, that they're shoved into that box that people talk about as society just wants to make us all the same. Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, And I get that. I get why people do that. I now get it. Because I have stupid shit coming up on me. And the most dramatic of which is just age. I'm 28. I want to have a wife and a family. And at this point, I want to do that, but I want to have that rolling by the time I'm 35. And that's reasonable. And having a goal to do it any later is kind of dumb. You're losing time at that point. Especially because you probably have to get with a girl in her 20s, But I'm saying, if you're 50, it's hard to find a girl who's going to be with you and make fucking kids with you, who has that biological possibility. And plus, you're just so late at that point, There's been so many years not spent doing that. It's just a bad move. a bad move. And what if you die? You know? So no, I don't, I'm stressed. I don't want to be in I past my 30s and still not have a family. And there's other things, and the more pressing material things that stress me out too. Okay. And as true as that may be, so what was I saying? Totally lost the train of thought. What the fuck? Let me rewind it. Oh, sorry, I remember I had to rewind it and look at the video. Yeah, so that's, for instance, the pressure for me. It's one of them. One of many is the pressure of, needing to grow up and live life in a way that life demands of you. And there's also some monetary things that are going on. They're demanding I go get a job and work like a normal fucking person. Okay. And also, like, I'm in my fucking parents' house. What the fuck am I doing? I gotta get the fuck out of here, bro. Or I'll fucking kill myself. Alright. See me hanging in this basement. That'll be the last episode of the diary if I don't get the fuck out of here. It'll be a sad ending. All this positivity. Fucking 3 months later, just on YouTube Live. Just my legs in the shot. And so I get it. But I don't think that I just don't think that's the way things need to be. I think you should always want to rise to the highest standard possible. And for me, I think that is, even though it's kind of a gay excuse and sort of a diffusion of accountability, that is the reason that I have had so much trouble pulling my life together, is that it would have been a lot easier to have pulled life together to a normal extent. But for me, anything less than the highest standard is just as discouraging as a full-blown failure. It's just as discouraging as everything falling apart, as everything being okay, but still mediocre, still normal. When you pair that with, like, being a naturally lazy person and a person who, when he tries to not be lazy, ends up riddled with anxiety, you just end up with kind of a fucking loser. You end up with someone who is always here, and because he doesn't care to be here, and he can't get out of here, he just stays here. That's all. I'm right here. Here isn't enough for me. And getting any further up to here, I fucking fuck up. I can't do it. I'm too much of a shit bag. Too mentally ill and scared. So that thing, how do I get past that thing? As far as just motivating myself to do what needs to be done, in spite of life being what it is, and me being as much of a loser as I am, all those fears and anxieties that bubble up when I try to start living life in the proper direction, what I do now more than ever is, instead of thinking life is so bad and it could have been so good, I eliminate the past and the future and just think about, what if, like, you were just dealt the cards that you have right now. None of it's your fault. None of it happened. You were just born into it. This is you. This is you, and this is the set of circumstances you're under. And derived from those circumstances, these are the set of things you need to deal with. Okay? What would I do? And what I really think is, what if you really were? Imagine some person, actually, let's go like this. Imagine some person who is in a bad life, and they were just born into it. They're fucking starving in some remote Asian village, and everything's hard and sucks. I don't know. They've had to work since they were 7 or younger, you know? Like that guy, you know? He didn't cause it to himself, and he doesn't necessarily have anything good in the future. In fact, the chances are low. In those ways, essentially, he is just like you. In essence, that guy is just like you. Oh yeah, you fucked up the opportunities you had and made all these mistakes, and oh, the future is scary. You know, your fault or not, things could have gone better or not, life kicked you down or not, you still have these circumstances now in the present. And that's you. That's what you have. And what I really think is, though, in essence, this person with much greater problems than you also just has those problems and needs to deal with those present problems presently. You, being the same as him, have much lesser problems. If you're listening to this video, you're probably me, like a year later. But if you're someone else, which has got to happen eventually, and you're listening to this video, you probably live in a fucking first world Western country. You probably live in one of these white nations. Okay? One of these white English-speaking nations. Probably. And if you do, no matter how bad your shit is, it is better than some fucking person starving in a village or under cartel rule in Mexico, etc., etc. Your life is better. And so for me, anymore, I don't look at life as like, oh God, I fucked it up so badly. What the shit? It could have been so much better, because it could have been. I had some hella good opportunities that I squandered. And I would say that actually my entire life has been another phase of great opportunities that I did not use fully. Maybe that's anyone's life. In a free country, at least, maybe that's anyone's life. I don't know. Certainly been mine. Or I see what I could have done differently at every step of the way. And looking back, I'm like, that would have worked. That would have fucking succeeded handsomely. Okay. Regardless of whether it's my fault or not, you're here, I'm here, and I have a set of things that I need to do. And so from now on, you know, as part of this diary, that's my vow, or at least my intention. Don't like to make promises, because I fuck things up so much. But that's the intention. And that's what I am planning to do, is to act in the present, to stop thinking about the past, nor to worry about the future. Is that my lady? She's so pretty. She said, I miss you. And to daily do the things that I need to do to get my life to where it needs to be. And I guess I'll just end with this, because it's a thought I had tonight and it actually connects well. Because I guess the question would be, what do I need to do? What does one need to do? What are those things? And I realized something tonight. I was watching some of the Bob Dylan videos. So whenever I was 24, yeah, 23, 24. I was 23, turning 24. I had already been writing music for years. I mean, I started writing songs when I was. The first time I wrote a song, I was just singing something that came to my head while looking out a bus window. And then whenever I turned around, a bunch of people were, like 3 or 4 people were like looking right at me, like some people would come around like the other seats. It was like someone came around the seat in front of me, someone came around the seat behind me, and like 2 people sitting right here. And like I turned around and they were like, "What are you doing?" Do you think the story was gonna be I turned around and they all started applauding? No, it was weird. I was like over here like singing. And I was trying to sing a song about being a poor man. It was like a country song. Never told this story. About being a poor man. I don't remember what I was rhyming with, but the last line I sang, which I must have realized it was dumb, because that's when I stopped trying and turned around, was I can't even afford a lemon. I don't know what I was rhyming with. Probably saying I'm 7, I'm only 11, I can't even afford a lemon. Probably something like that. But I remember that's what it was. I can't even afford a lemon. It's just me trying to rhyme with something. Is this bold on the left? Or am I tripping? Is this bold? It looks like it is. Why is that? But it's not, because above it is bold. I think it just printed that way. Yeah, it's like the ink gets thinner from left to right. And so whenever I found Bob Dylan, it was, I had been writing songs for a long time. The first song, I was writing a bunch of songs leading up to the first like decent song I wrote, and that was called "Take Me Away." Just some simple song, but wanted to go to paradise with a girl. I was like, "Take me away where I know that you'll say that you love me. I'm the one that you love. Take me away where I know it'll be just you, me, and the blue skies above." I wrote that in like 10th grade. It was the first good song I wrote, and I was writing for several months. Maybe, I don't know if it was several months, it was a while before that, before I wrote that one. And it was like, that was like the first one where I was like, that's a good song. And that was 10th grade. And so I had been writing songs for a long time. You know, what would that be? 7 or 8 years before I found Bob Dylan for the first time. And I mean, if you're a songwriter and you haven't heard Bob Dylan, you're fucking yourself. He's like the songwriter, you know, he is songwriting. And when I found him, I would watch these videos, especially from his Blonde on Blonde tour, and I would get this feeling that this person had, through like totally immersed dedication to the art, had turned himself into something. Allen Ginsberg, who was really a close friend of Bob Dylan, and is also a Jew, is also a degenerate Jew. Bob Dylan is the only Jew who isn't Jewy in the world. Bob Dylan was the original Jew. He was the original neo-Jew. He was a proto-Jew. Now, Allen Ginsberg said something about Bob Dylan. Allen Ginsberg was fucking young men in the ass. So Allen Ginsberg, he takes the man off his cock. He's 80 years old at this point. He's like wrinkly and shit. And he takes the man off of his circumcised cock. First, and he sticks his foreskin in the guy's butt. As you do, as is the common practice. It's just a Jewish sodomy ritual. It's a beautiful religious act. It's sacred. No, but he was in this interview and he said that Bob, you would watch him become. It sounds weird just to call him Bob, just some guy. You watch Bob, the great Bob, but Bobby, Mr. Dylan, would become a column of air, something like that. And I forget what the context, as far as the actual words were surrounding it, but I understood what he was saying. It was like you would watch Bob and he was like the whole thing, like in front of you, like he was the music. And I saw some of those videos again tonight. I don't even remember why I looked any of that up. But like I watched like his Baby Let Me Follow You Down video from the Blonde on Blonde tour, so it's the one where he's playing with the Hawks, later referred to as the band. And you see it. You see this like borderline possession or something. Like it's something else, and what that produces is a sound unlike any other. It's otherworldly. For me, here's what I'm saying. For me, let's say this. Let's say someone like the Jim and Pam love story. Jim loves Pam, and so no matter what, he's going to end up with her. And he ended up giving Dwight the same advice regarding Angela. If you love her, you got to go for her. I've kind of become cynical about love. I love the fuck out of my girl, but I know that a bitch is a bitch. Sorry, honey. No, what I mean by that is it might not be healthy to pin, no matter how much you love someone, no matter how in love you are, you can't pin all your hopes and dreams on being with that person. That's a separate person, right? Yet, what I have always understood, the way that I would understand love, and what's weird, I'm starting to read some song lyrics lately. It's even something I wrote a couple months ago, where I see someone refer to a girl, or love, or woman, and what I think of is music. Like, I love music in like this like central way where it's like beyond me. And the last game I played through was Final Fantasy IX. A lot of Final Fantasy IX, the theme is just doing right just because. You don't need a reason to help people. It's like the kind of the featured quote of the main character. You don't need a reason to do what's right. And when it comes to me working on music and wanting to manifest something beautiful in the world, it's not even to become a musician per se. Obviously I want to, but that's secondary. And that's a byproduct of just wanting to create something beautiful. When it comes to me wanting to create something beautiful in the world, that's just like a thing that I'm drawn to do. It's a thing that probably precipitates from my belief in God, and thus it follows that there must be some purpose for my life. So then what is that purpose? And I know it's gay and also kind of immodest. It's kind of prideful. It sounds very, very high and mighty. But I was put on this earth to make music. I was put on this earth to write songs. I was put on this earth to render something beautiful. And what I think people should do is they should at once realize the reality of the world, which is probably just money. Money is the reality of the world. Money is like, it's kind of like the universal language. And if you want to survive or do anything at all, you need to find your way to some money somehow. Hold that in seriousness. Don't be fucking so corny and lost in your dream that you forget that like you're going to fuck yourself up badly and make it so you can't do anything at all if you don't at least deal with the bare responsibilities of getting some dry powder together, some paper, some cash. Realize that. However, the thing that you know you should be doing with your life, regardless of whether it will make you money, you gotta do it. And that to me, I think that's like the final, for now, it's the final place I've arrived. Is like, there's a reality in front of you, but whatever thing your heart clings to rather than your head, and this is why it's similar to falling in love, whatever thing your heart clings to, that is just as critical as fucking paying your goddamn taxes. You know what I mean? And I think what people should realize is that you're not going to be an effective person if you don't, pay your rent bill when it's due, etc. So that's what I would say. What should you do? Well, when you know in your heart what you want to do, for whatever reason that's beyond you and that seems to be just what you feel is right. Because you should be doing what's right. If you're not doing that, then don't even fucking watch anything watch any of these videos or diaries. Go away. I don't care. If you're not going to be like constantly focused on the highest good, then go buy a bunch of Funko Pops. Go buy Funko Pops and jack off to porn and fall asleep to Family Guy. That's your life. I don't care. Bye. Go be insignificant in the eyes of God. I don't know. But being focused on what's right, that's what I think it is. And I don't know. This is day 2. Everything that I'm saying now could very well be proven severely wrong. I'm just saying. I'm just putting out there. I'm just getting on the record. The thing I believe right now is that the right thing to do, the thing that you do with your life, is to do the right thing and to make sure you cover your responsibilities so that you can do the right thing. And that's all. You're not just making money for the sake of making money. You're certainly not just doing it for your status, for the gratification of your ego. Okay? Maybe you're doing it for comfort. I don't think that's a bad thing. So you can live a comfortable life. But then live below your fucking means and contribute the rest of your energies, all of the rest of your energies, to whatever that drive is that exists beyond you and that challenges you, that pushes you to be a legend. And my thought, and I actually got this from Crowley, reading about Nui and Hadi, which I think is in his first book, or just in his first, not even book, it's a pamphlet, or his first major work, the Book of Law. But Crowley is a fucking faggot freak until he died. He actually renounced all of his occult shit after he got a kid, which is kind of crazy. But I think it's everyone's responsibility to follow your dream and to become everything you could become the archetype that is under the layers within you, that only requires the work of mining into it. There's a diamond in you, no matter who you are. There's a shining star whose light is underneath the muck and the grime of the way this world has corrupted you. And so figure that out. Figure out how you'd align with the grand purpose that's been set for you, simply as a matter of being alive in this world. And I don't know what else to say. I don't like to get religious because people don't like it, but that's an act of worship for the Creator, and that's an act of gratitude for your having been created. All right, I don't want to get too too preachy because I don't know anything. But I'm very glad that things are I'm glad that things are kind of looking up. And I'm just going to try to stay, at the same time I don't get too worried, I'm going to try to not get too excited. Just keep myself right in the middle lane, you know? And I'll be doing more of these recordings, and we'll see what this little project becomes. It's been a good night. I got down here, did a lot of practice on music, which I haven't really done seriously in months. I don't know. One thing I will gladly overdose on is gratitude towards God, and that's all I can say. I'm just so grateful to God that I'm here doing this, and I'm like trying, and that's all. Hey, stop smoking weed, stop watching porn, stop watching YouTube and getting on social media and binging Netflix. Stop playing video games. Alright? This has been chapter 2 of Gate to Space, and I don't know what the title of this video is going to be yet. You want to know why I called it that? You don't get to know why I called it that. Fuck you, loser.